Young and New says, I see a lot of women I find physically attractive. How do I know if my physical standards for a wife are too low or too high? Sometimes I'm a bit scared to meet new people. And make sure you didn't say anything else. My desire to have a wife is high and I feel lonely sometimes. Well, let's help you out. Let's start with your first question. I see a lot of women I find physically attractive. That's not going to change. That's not going to change. How do I know if my physical standards for a wife are too low or too high? Well, you like what you like, family. You are physically attracted to who you're physically attracted to. You have to understand the beauty of attraction. But you have to understand the beauty of specific attraction. And there are certain things that you are going to be broadly attracted to, and there's going to be some things that you're going to be specifically attracted to. Specific attractions are God sends. These are things that are tailored to the course of your life. The reason why I say this is so you don't get confused by or influenced by or swayed by attraction alone, but that you are focused and waiting for and patient for specific attraction, right? So like I said before, women are going to always be attractive. God is not going to snatch all attractive women out of your life when you get married. So you have to tame your eye. Through the Spirit of God, you're going to then have to understand or be willing to allow that Spirit of God to create self-controlling you visually. Because beautiful women ain't going to go away. But that's the difference between just being receptive to all broad attractions and not patient with specific attractions. Specific attractions are things that are attracted to you because of the purpose in you that God has laid out and timed marked throughout the time frame of your life. What that means is that God has a clock in which different things are going to be released as you become more attracted to God and attracted to yourself and attracted to your purpose. The more you become attracted to God, the more you become attracted to your personal development, and the more you become attracted to your purpose, then those things will be released, because then you will have matured at the level enough to attract those things. Let me tell you something. You have to be the type of magnet to draw big things. A little magnet can't pull a car. A magnet the size of the car can pull the car. So I have to be a magnet at the size of the thing that I want to draw. And the only way I can be the size magnet to be able to draw big things is if I desire for God to be magnified by my life. The more I magnify God, the more I become masterful, the bigger I become as a magnet to draw things that are bigger than what I used to be. So you can't be who you was yesterday and expect to draw a big future. You got to continuously, in magnifying God and becoming a master of yourself and a master of your craft, that you'll be able to draw things bigger. So that you can't be so broadly impacted by broad attractions, or you're going to cheat on your wife one day. You have to be so focused on the specific attractions because you know that you only want what God has for you. That's the mindset that I have. I only want what God has for me. Yes, you may have that. They may have that, but I only want God has for me. So if you continue to mature in the things of God and desire to magnify God and become a master of your craft, then you will begin to see the fine-tuning of your attractions. Now, when it comes to too high or too low, as you grow, you will see. Like I said, for my wife, I used to wonder why I was attracted to Fancy from the Jamie Foxx show. When I was a kid, I was like, why am I attracted to that type of woman? Because my purpose and my future was already in me. So whatever I'm attracted to outside of me is connecting to something inside of me, even though I was too immature to be able to process why did I like Fancy. And as years begin to progress, things begin to be fashioned from what was once fancy became to be fashioned for me and my wife that was similar to her. So whatever that's inside of you purposefully, you're going to find yourself somewhat attracted to. But as you begin to develop your relationship with God, as you begin to grow in personal development, and the more you begin to focus on your purpose, the more you will begin to see the alignment of the purposes of God for you. Then you said, sometimes I'm a bit scared to meet new people. Well, the thing is, it's not about what you know in life, it's about who you know. So you can't be afraid of meeting people, because all of my promotions did not come from here. It came from people who connected to me. So you can have all knowledge in the world, but if you don't have people to get you to where you got to go, you're not going to get there. So don't be scared to meet new people, right? Just continue to have meetings with God and meetings with yourself, and then you will become a person that is more confident when you're out there and about. You did say, my desire to have a wife is high, and I feel lonely sometimes. Now, loneliness, to a degree, is the biggest threat to longingness. If you can't handle being alone, then how can you handle being alongside? If you can't handle being alone with God and being alone with yourself, then how are you going to handle being alone with somebody else? The reason why we're longing from lonely is because we don't realize who's our friend, who's there with us. I was going to say homie, but I don't want y'all to look at God as a homie, right? But what I'm saying is our longing comes from our lonely, and we forget about the person who's alongside us the whole time. And the more that we begin to understand his presence everywhere we go, the more we tap in. Right now, I'm tapping into the presence of God creatively. That's why I'm able to flow with these videos like this. I'm tapped in. The reason why we're lonely is because we're not tapped in. We're not tapped in to God's omnipotent, omniscient and omnipresence, right? When you tap into those three essence of him, every day I have to tap into his omnipresence. He is present, which means he's a present help in the time of trouble. I'm tapped in. He's present. His presence produces reverence. His presence creates reverence. His presence creates refueling. His presence creates a lot of different things because I'm tapped in. His omniscience, I have to tap in because in his omniscience, whatever I lack in wisdom, I can ask of him and he will give it to me without limit. Then it will balance out your strong desires for a wife. It will balance all your strong desires because you begin to desire to delight yourself in him. If you delight yourself in him, then your desires will follow suit. And then you will find the one suitable hired for you to be with you. So you have to begin to understand, what can I do with this season? I know that season, fam. I know what it's like to want a wife. I've been there, fam. But these books didn't come out of nowhere. These videos didn't come out of nowhere. I just said, am I going to sit here till I die? Am I going to sit here till I die crying about my loneliness, worrying about when my wife's going to come, or am I going to match the wife I want? Instead of dreaming about the woman you want, prepare for the woman you want. Instead of asking and praying for the woman you want or the man you want, you got to prepare for the woman you want. That increases the validity and the value of your singleness. Now your singleness becomes even more valuable because now you see it as a prerequisite to marriage. And then you're going to be able to say, okay, what must I do? Who must I become to be alongside with this someone? Then that makes you see being alone not as a penalty, but as a benefit. Because now you begin to say, okay, if this is the type of woman I want, a woman of God, a woman that's fit, a woman that's healthy, a woman that's smart, a woman, whatever, or a man, whatever, I got to see, am I that whatever? Because a man of God ain't going to want no woman of the world. A woman of God ain't going to want no man of the world. A healthy man ain't going to want no pig. A healthy woman ain't going to want no slob. A smart man ain't going to want no dumb woman. Like, you cannot match if you can't catch. If you can't catch it, put the mitten down and prepare yourself to catch it when it comes. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to engage more content, make sure you check out the videos over here. If you want to learn more about the books that I've written or the cards that I've created or ways that you can support and engage with what I do online, make sure you check out the links in the description box below. And if you've been watching this far, you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell, and make sure you leave a comment. I would love to read it and would love to engage and be your coach online. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.